Greetings everyone, and welcome to the next installment of American McGee's Alice. First of all, I would like to point out about my comment of the ice wands being the Vorpal Blade. I was in fact wrong about that. The Vorpal Blade is my primary weapon, the knife. The ice wand is just called the ice wand. So my apologies in advance for that. If you recall from the last level there, I'm about to fight that accursed centipede. Let's see how that progresses. And he's huge! The instruction booklet hints at the fact that he is vulnerable now. See that when he lifts his belly there? Basically do that a bunch more times. His attacks are very frustrating though. He'll send, I think, yeah, that at me. And a bunch of those little bugs, the kind that burrow. Although that's actually a blessing in disguise because killing them gives me health. By the way, this is one of the songs in the game that I'm really not a fan of. It just doesn't seem special to me. Oh god, so close. Oh, what? I'm gonna get that health now. And mana. I like mana. Oh, he's right here. Oh, for a second I thought that was it. I was like, really? Ah! Stop it! Ugh. Disgusting things. Maybe they don't give me health. I thought they were the bigger enemies. Oh, yeah, I am a winner. I guess maybe you weren't really kind of supposed to know about that weak point unless you read the instruction booklet. I think something in there mentions that he doesn't like being hit there. You know, the giant glowing red... What did Spoonie call it? The giant glowing, like, fuck you spot or something like that. However he put it, I really got a kick out of that terminology. Suck what is apparently Vorpal Blade, fool! Ew. Why is it still spouting green goo? Why is it coming out of his mouth? I hate centipedes. I really hate military centipedes. Military centipedes that are out to kill me. Well, you know what, as far as bosses go, that was pretty simple. So I really can't complain. Climbing out of here. I think I might be getting big soon. Yeah, that mushroom I think is like the eat me mushroom. So this bodes well, because I'm really tired of being attacked by freaking ants.
I've never trusted toadstools, but I suppose some must have their good points.
I wish I were hallucinating. What a horrible choice. Eat a toadstool or remain food for insects.
It's rude to eat and run,
yes,
but sometimes it's unavoidable.
I love how the cat was comparably small to me, too. I think that was apparently a very small Cheshire cat. Well, it's all in my head, right? I can make stuff up as I go along. Back to the caterpillar's plot. If this is the area I remember, it's almost like a hub for the next couple of levels. I don't have a choice of where to go, but it is a sort of crossroads showing me what is ultimately going to be in store. So, hey, I can't complain. You'd think the caterpillar's plot would be, you know, by the caterpillar, but as far as I'm aware, I think this is the crossroads area, complete with little devil imp kind of things, pitchforks and everything. It's just kind of goofy, I don't know. But one thing I'd like to point out, take a look at the map. Look at how much of it is still unexplored. I want you to think about that. Although we are approaching the halfway point.
The dimensions of this desolate tract are unknown to all but the inhabitants. Only one path will bring you to the end game.
Hey look, devil imps! Away with you, beggar! I dare some of you to get that little reference. Don't touch me! I might catch something. Oh yeah, by the way, the game's also forgiving in that it at least has the courtesy to restore me to full health at the start of a new level. Also look, new weapon, but not really, as you'll soon see. I hope I make that jump. That was close. This is kind of like the super weapon of the game. And I really hope I can jump up there. I'm gonna feel a little silly if I just stupidly fall into the lava. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go back to the menu real quick, just to show you something. I don't know how many of you have noticed this, because you really had no reason to, but as you can see, the save menu is kind of like a camera with a grainy photo here. Look up here where my mouse is. It says Bandersnatch Opticals. What's a Bandersnatch? Well, it's mentioned in at least 2 of Lewis Carroll's poems. One of them is The Hunting of the Snark, where you meet one directly, and the other is The Jabberwocky, where there's just watch out for the Jabberwock, and the Jubjub Bird, and the frumious Bandersnatch. I bring up Bandersnatches because...
The Jabberwock's eye staff is incomparably powerful, but its individual pieces are worth less than the carcass of a gnat.
Oh, you better believe the Jabberwocky is in this game. The Jabberwock is in this game. Hey look, a new enemy! A Phantasmagoria! I approve of its name. So yeah, this is one of those things where I have to collect the parts to build the whole, like, what was it in Turok? The Chronoscepter? In this, it's 3 or 4 parts. And it is a necessary weapon. It's not a secret super mega thing. It's, I get the last piece as directly part of the plot. Oh, fun fact. Most adaptations of Alice involve her interacting with the Jabberwock in some way or another, but, jeez. Getting away from that crap. It's a lava man! I hate these things. You like how when I shoot it with the ice wand, it cools down? How cool is that? You see it getting a little less fiery and a little more craggy? But, like I was saying, most adaptations of Alice involve her interacting with the Jabberwock, but that never actually happens in the original story. Majestic Maze or Pale Realm, huh? I'm pretty sure I'm not going to the Pale Realm yet. In fact, I know I'm not going to the Pale Realm. Cave of the Oracle sounds promising. Jabberwock's lair is the boss fight. I'm pretty... Whoa! Oh, you... Oh! Oh! Jeez! Wow! Anyway, actually that's a little almost related to the plot. You might notice that fire is particularly bad for me. Easy to kill, but if they shoot me, they freeze me temporarily. I'm actually not entirely sure that they can hurt me on their own. As far as I've seen, they just freeze me. It does a sort of camera pan. But yeah, Alice never actually interacts with the Jabberwock monster in the original story, although they do close analyze the poem, with another character I'll mention later when I see him. Some of you who are actually familiar with the poem might be aware that it mostly consists of what seem to be nonsense words. Well, in the poem, they explain what those words mean. Oh, and hey, more trivia! Remember how I said that this screaming monster was called a boojum? Well, I figured out what a boojum is when I first said I have no idea where you'd get that name. It's from another Lewis Carroll poem called, well, I mentioned it already, The Hunting of the Snark. It's actually pretty creepy. They really set up boojums to be disturbing. They mention things like, we're gonna go hunt for a snark, but snarks come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, etc., etc. But one thing they note a couple of times is, just watch out for boojums, because if you ever run into a boojum, it'll make you disappear and never come back, and there'll be no trace of you. And it just sounds disturbing. It's actually almost like a Candlejack kind of thing. It's not mentioning the name, but it's just like if you meet one, you never come into contact with them again. Also, you know, I was gonna cut myself off mid-sentence to make a Candlejack joke, but it's too late for that now. Oh well, sorry guys. Plus I have to stop narrating the entire playthrough, and what fun would that be? Oh well. But yeah, boojums are particularly creepy. Or maybe they're even called booja, what do I know? But the disturbing thing is that the poem ends with the travelers looking for a snark, and one of them runs into a snark. And all of a sudden he says, "Boo!" and is cut off. And the narration goes on to say, he might have said jump, but you really couldn't hear it. and the other travelers went looking for his body and could find absolutely no trace of him whatsoever. He was basically just erased from the earth. And the poem literally ends with a line, like, "For the snark was a boojum, you see." Like, the end. The man's dead because he ran into a boojum. It is so creepy. See, the difference between Lewis Carroll's other poems and the Jabberwocky is that Jabberwocky, the words are mostly nonsense, but you can actually follow the situation perfectly. In The Hunting of the Snark, and something like The Walrus and the Carpenter, you can follow the situation, and the words themselves make sense, but despite you being able to follow the situation, it is completely nonsensical. It's just wacky. But then it ends with this creepy ending, like, by the way, the boojum killed a man. It's just like, ugh.
To destroy the palace filled with malice is the daring work of noble Alice. An endgame with the Red Queen is possible only after you crush her sentinel, the vile, fiercelicious, and vengeful Jabberwock. Without the staff that bears his name, destroying him is the hopeless work of a wasted
God,
life.
that's depressing.
I have one piece of the eye staff. Where are the others?
Scattered throughout the world, when you have them all in hand, checkmate is possible. The Pale Royals may be...
Now I go to the Pale Realm.
Obscure allusions to chess are fine, but it troubles me that anonymous oracles know more of my business than I do.
Pale Realm, hey hey, there we go. So my first stop was, as you can see, the Cave of the Oracle. Now I go to the Pale Realm. Also, beware the Jabberwock, my son. The fangs that bite, the claws that catch. And I think, whatever it was I said, beware the something something Jub bird, maybe even just the Jub bird, and the frumious Bandersnatch. By the way, in The Hunting of the Snark, when a Bandersnatch attacks, they get away from it, but it's pretty dangerous. Also, more kind of trivia. In Resident Evil Code Veronica, or for those of you who have gotten into Resident Evil more recently, you might have played the Dark Side Chronicles. There are enemies in the Code Veronica... Oh, jeez. Okay. There are enemies in the Code Veronica scenarios that, that are called Bandersnatches, and they're very notable by being yellow, having one short arm that's basically entirely useless, and one very long, stretchy arm. Note that the Lewis Carroll poem mentions nothing of the sort. I thought they would just... I suppose that the Resident Evil developers, I guess Capcom, just thought they'd make the Bandersnatch just interesting that way. I'm not sure why it's called the Bandersnatch, unless you consider that that long arm is used for snatching. It's the only thing I can think of. But hey, just dropping some fun facts on you while I'm, you know, mindlessly running through this gray drudgery. Anything to entertain. Even if it's my words and very little gameplay. Oh well. Caterpillar's plot had 4 exits, or 4 paths anyway. I just took one of them, just like that. Now for the Pale Realm, number 2. Back I go. Oh, you know what? Oh, that's not good. Yeah, this is why Phantasmagorias are dangerous, because they just let me get destroyed by boojums. Ugh. Help me! Fun fact, the ice wand sets things on fire! Nah, it's just how the boojums die, but you know, it looks a little goopy to me, I'm sorry. You know, as brutal as the enemies in Alice are, the health really, really heals you. I also love this song. Well, the Pale Realm, I'll tell you this, the Majestic Mace sucks. I really don't like it. But that's for a later time. Who wants to kill more boojums? Did I hear you say me? Well, that's creepy. You're watching from wherever the hell you're watching. I'm the one playing the game. Oh! No! Also, I don't know why the Boojum's attack is screaming. It's interesting, but nothing in the poem ever indicates that that would normally be the case. Hey look, pawns! Stupid, useless things. They do take, I think, 2 hits. And they sound stupid too. Really, because they are. I mean, look at them. Oh no, I see a card guard up there. I think they might have started to introduce the spades. The second most powerful of the card guards. I know that technically spades are the highest ranked suit in actual poker and card games and things like that, but come on, the boss of the game is the Queen of Hearts. What'd you think would happen? The spade guards suck. They shoot massive exploding shots. The heart guard's basically the same, except their shots are homing. I'm actually kind of happy I did not hit the card guard, because that would not end well for me. Believe it or not, I'm gonna use the ice wand on yeah, you saw that. That could have been me. And believe it or not, I'm gonna have to deign to use the ice wand on the card guards. I wonder if he'll keep doing that and blow himself up. You think?
Since you know the moves, best play with whites. They go first.
Such order in the midst of chaos makes me woozy and disoriented.
The regularity of the board disguises the predatory menace of certain pieces.
I really like that description. That just sounds right, doesn't it? Very eloquently put, with such an eloquent voice, too. Like, you gotta like that Cheshire Cat more and more. Oh good, just a pathetic and lowly diamond. And yeah, the spade guards always die like that, in that awkward, twisted position. I don't know why. Ha! Look at you, with your hardly damaging, not homing attacks. I regret ever having feared you, you lowly scum. Ugh, normally I wouldn't bother going over there, but I could use a little blue energy. There we go. I like the way this board's laid out. And contrary to what this area of the game would have you believe, it's standard black and white and red versus white and black. I guess the pieces themselves gave that away, but when I go into the Pale Realm, it's white and red. Ow! My brain! Haha, just kidding. Brains don't have nerves. He hurt my head instead. That's right, folks. As long as you can bear the pain of having your head cut open, technically they could do brain surgery on you while you're fully conscious. And you would totally not feel it. Personally, I wouldn't recommend going for it to prove a point, but I'm pretty sure it's true. You got no nerves, you got no nerves. Fortunately, I have nerves of steel, which is why I'm brave enough to head to the Pale Realm. See what I did there with that punnery? Oh, my wit is glorious. And so is my narcissism. Well, enough stalling for time. Let's enter the Pale Realm. Well, we managed to kill ourselves another boss and receive a mission from the Oracle, so now Alice knows what to do for her journey. Also, hey, I'm a total liar! You know how I said that the chessboard was black and white despite the pieces being white and red? Well, I was wrong. I just entered the Pale Realm and the entire setting is black and white with few exceptions. I think the red and white area was the red pieces zone and the black and white area is the white pieces zone. Watch me be wrong about that too. But in any case, the area I'm in right now is completely black and white with red opponents. Well, I guess you'll see a little more of that yourselves in the next installment. Until next time, everyone. It's a snark was the sound that first came to their ears, and seemed almost too good to be true. Then followed a torrent of laughter and cheers, then the ominous words, "It's a boot!" Then silence. Some fancied they heard in the air a weary and wandering sigh, then sounded like "jum," but the others declare it was only a breeze that went by. They hunted till darkness came on, but they found not a button or feather or mark, by which they could tell that they stood on the ground where the baker had met with the snark. In the midst of the word he was trying to say, in the midst of his laughter and glee, he had softly and suddenly vanished away, for the snark was a boojum, you see.